Cutter's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Degrassi Unpopular Opinion. And this is in response to a Reddit post that was posted almost a month ago. For context, it's being taped on January 24th, 2022. And Math Geek said, Emma seems more like an SJW and is quite annoying now. Not too many people upvoted it. Anyhow, Math Geek said something about, I started rewatching Next Gen, and Emma annoys the living crap out of me. When I first watched it, I always admired her sticking to her guns, but she's constantly doubling down on her opinions. And Math Geek says about going against her mother getting an abortion and didn't consider her side of the story. The GMO foods thing, she refused to listen to get no for an answer. Didn't care about how this would affect students of lower income, and cheerleading being sexist. Once again, she didn't listen to her best friend, and what she thought just went and doubled down. And what she thought just went to double down. Now, only two people made a comment on it: Rachel, Violetta, and myself. Rachel said, "Yeah, the one about how the TV studio bought the school computers in exchange for showing their news on the school's TV was propaganda. She still protested it and wanted the school to give the computers back, not caring that lower income students literally had to stay late at school or come in early to get work done on those computers since they didn't have one at home. Also, it's normal curiosity to want to know who her father was, but to demonize Spike for not telling her and then Shane came and destroyed the house and sent Spike into labor, the adults forgave her for that, and I would have too if it were my own kid. But it was another example of Emma doing whatever she wanted and not learning any lessons from it." So before I go into my my comment on this issue, so to give context on the five things that Rachel and Mackie talked about her mother getting abortion, because when Spike and Snake were getting married, Emma wasn't too keen on Spike and Snake because, Snake was her teacher, and it would have been weird at school being the stepdaughter of Snake, your own teacher. All that. It was just embarrassment and all that. I think a lot of people would be like that way too. Like they would be embarrassed to be associated like that. But anyhow, then her mom gets pregnant. Emma's like, "Oh, great." And then Spike says, "Oh, I'm going to get an abortion." And Emma's like, "You can't get an abortion." Spike's like, "I didn't want to get pregnant. It'll be great and all that." "Well, I don't want a second mistake." Of course, Emma takes that literally and gets mad at Spike. So she decides to tell Snake because she doesn't want the baby to be aborted. She was nearly aborted herself. And abortion is a hot button topic for her. And of course, this was when Emma was really triggered in her triggered phase in season 2. Like, I understand that, but Emma was anti-abortion. Like, how did Spike not realize that? Her own daughter was anti-abortion and all that. But it all worked out. They decided to have the kid, and I think Emma really wanted a sibling and all that. And Emma raises Jack okay. The GMO food thing, yep, another one of her being triggered and all that. Season 2. I mean, to be truthful, Emma did cause a lot of problems with this thing. Now, the GMO thing, if you don't know, is that Emma in season 2 was preparing for a presentation to Radich about GMO foods and how they should ban them and all that. And says that if we can modify these, if we can have organic foods, it would be great and all that. Raj says that, "I like your presentation, but the problem is that the budget is hurting us, and we're lucky to have a cafeteria." I mean, Raj told them all these things, but Emma was upset thinking that Raj was just brushing them off. So she passes out flyers, gets them taken away by Radich, and Emma was about to wave the white flag. Unbeknownst to Radich, of course. And Radich may have had something to do with this cafeteria commercial blasting Emma. And, of course, Emma was in her triggered phase in season 2. So guess what? She's angry and all that. She wants to get angry, so she she accidentally starts a food fight. Radish blames the food fight on Emma's flyers, which was false because how many people took the flyers? Like 5 or 6? So anyhow, Emma is suspended for the rest of the day. Radish just wants to get rid of her. Emma's upset and sits in on Snake's class. Snake says, you're not supposed to be here. He's just being unreasonable and all that. Snake doesn't know how to handle Emma, but manages to get Emma to leave. Emma then protests across the street, even though it's not on school property. Radish has a hissy fit and tells her to apologize for everything. Emma starts to. She actually does apologize for the food fight and apologizes for the cafeteria stuff. However, she basically blasts Radish for trying to silence her voice and all that, leaving Radish and Liberty annoyed and all that. So she basically tells the school about Radish threatening to suspend her, and she takes it. Of course, Radish is not too pleased, but he feels he has to suspend her to send a message to the school. And a part of me thinks that in season 3, when he did the Saturday detention, he was just trying to gain control back because he figured that the students were going to run the asylum. But technically, no, he's wrong. It got Radish to stand her up, and he got nervous. And that's why Radish in season 4 was upset with Emma trying to get in on the Rick situation, saying, this is not one of your stupid crusades. Like, honestly, Radish, this is a poignant crusade, and he just wants to get rid of her. Well, the fact of the matter is, on the GMO foods thing, is that, Emma was wrong in a way, but in the end, she was proven correct. And then cheerleading being sexist. Yeah, season 1. I mean, she was upset over cheerleading being sexist, but Paige says, it's not sexist. We have boys on the team. However, cheerleading being sexist doesn't mean it's gender. It means that, female cheerleaders are ditzy and all that, and boys take advantage of them. Fair enough. I can see that. So, yeah, Emma was upset that her best friend got on the team. Maybe Emma was a little jealous, but she was worried that Manny was going to be poked and prodded by Paige and her crew and all that. She was proving partially right, but, Emma was not, Manny was not too happy with Emma butting in. Fair enough. And then you got yourself the school computer thing. I think it was Parents' Night. Well, that school computer thing was the subplot, because the main plot was about Toby trying to prevent his parents, who divorced, from coming to Parents' Night and all that. Both of them, because they both hate each other. So unfortunately, Toby tries his best and fails miserably. In the meantime, Emma is upset over the school's propaganda thing. However, when Tracker, Sean's brother, says that, they bought the school computers and all that, and, you can't do that. You can't just protest, because then they take away the computers. What are students like Sean going to do for schoolwork and all that? And, Emma's just saying that. It's just propaganda and all that. You can't have that. And Tracker says, yeah, but it's helping the students out. Sean does like Emma's stuff, even though that his brother was saying all the stuff to him. And then, of course, season 3, when, Emma wants to find out who her father is, her real father is. I mean, Spike should have said something to the fact that, talk about Shane in such a way he's in a home for mental deficient adults. I think Emma would have backed off. But, to demonize Spike. But Snake did the right thing by telling Emma at school the next day everything about Shane's thing, and that, Shane's parents didn't want Shane around the kid for some reason. And basically, he jumped off or fell off a bridge because of acid. I think he fell off the bridge. I don't think he would jump off because of acid. Regardless, so, Emma felt terrible about her things. She kind of caused a rift in the family. But Spike does apologize, and Emma is okay with it. So, yeah. So, anyway, I wrote something, and I said, her views on Manny trying to get an abortion was SJ-like. And then she shocked us by agreeing to Manny's view. I thought this was adding on. Manny trying to get an abortion was SJW-like. And then she shocked us by agreeing to Manny's view. I thought she was going to disown Manny for getting an abortion. Her views on Snake marrying her mom were awkward but understandable. Who would enjoy a teacher of yours to marry your parent? The Orange Ribbon campaign could be an example, but she stopped it because no one was getting the message about domestic abuse and using the cause for violence, and she figured that if Rick was hurt, she would get blamed for everything. The GMO foods thing, the thing you forget about that episode was that after Raj took away her flyers, she was willing to wave the white flag, but then that commercial mocking her beliefs on the video feed got her triggered. Plus, you have to realize that most kids don't understand school budgeting and how the administration has to deal with classes slash supplies. And I said after season 5, she had less of SJW vibe and more of a boy crazy vibe. So yeah, so I talked about how things, and Manny getting an abortion, like she was anti-abortion, and then she agreed with Manny. I still believe this to this day, that Emma was talked to by Spike about Manny's problems because Spike knew about Manny's issues with having a kid and an abortion and all that. So I think Spike must have told something to Emma because then Emma pops up and is on Manny's side. But also, she does say she's anti-abortion, but she still supports Manny because it's her body and her choice. Kind of condescending, but part of me also says that Emma was trying to be Manny's best friend because Manny and Emma broke off as friends because Manny wanted Emma to go after Chris, even though Chris may have had a girlfriend, which I guess he didn't because Chris and Emma then got together and all that. So yeah, and the Orange Ribbon campaign was an SJW move. I hate to say it, but it wasn't completely like, SJW stuff. Yeah, it was to deal with domestic violence and to silently kick Rick out. Fair enough. But then, there's always the hidden agendas. Like, she was upset because she didn't have friends because Manny and Liberty broke off with her after what she was going to do about Chris and Liberty dating and all that. And I mean, Emma was in the wrong. But the fact of the matter is that Emma dug herself her own grave. She wanted a new friend. She wanted to be in Paige's clique. Paige's clique left her high and dry after she protected Rick. And I wouldn't be surprised if people just ignored Emma at all. I mean, she only had the quiz team to her thing. And basically, I think because she had lack of friends, she felt powerless. And then she overcompensates by trying to be friends with Manny and Liberty because of what happened. Because her lack of friends led to Rick nearly killing her. Then you got yourself the simple fact of the other hidden agendas about Radich, trying to stick it to Radich, who called her causes stupid. I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, Radich's hatred for Emma must have happened. I think Snake had a hint, and I bet if that came out, then Snake would have destroyed Radich once and for all. I mean, you cross the line when you go after my stepdaughter and you have personal vendetta against her. Even though that Emma may be at fault, you can't be at fault, and you can't have vendettas against students. All that. And of course, Raj was kind of jaded. So yeah, so do I think I was SJW? SJW, no. Annoying, yes. Triggered, yes. She was strange. She was strange the first 3 years, and then after Rick put the gun in her face, she just turned quite crazy and bubbly and all that. There will be a CDUO or Curtis Degrassi unpopular opinion based on Emma's glow up and all that, and how I feel about it. That's just how I feel. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.